Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, organics of all ages, Double R here, and today we're going to have a little bit of a talk about The Killing Joke. Well, at least the first half of it. Batgirl's last case. So let's get the intro going, and we'll get right into it. Let us talk firstly about the scene that kind of set the whole mood for me up. And it's a very simple scene. It's the police chasing the Paris Franz and his henchmen. The reason why this is a big thing for me, and I'm not going to say a lot, but the reason why this is a big thing for me is I want you to watch this scene very carefully, and hopefully you'll pick out what I picked out, and it kind of sets the tone for the movie.
Son of a... You act like you've never been in a police chase before. Take the next left. Here? Here.
Now I know, and you know, that Warner Brothers has this weird reputation for their editing. And I feel that's pretty much how this movie comes off. What I feel kind of happened here is that the animators went ahead and did the Killing Joke part first. They went ahead and looked through the comics and went through the graphic novels and they animated it. Came out great, fine, whatever. But it was short. It was short. And they wanted to do this as a theatrical release. Remember that. So they looked at it and went, the time seems a little off. So they did a few things to try to expand it. Came out maybe a little bit better, a little bit worse, who knows. But doing that, it still felt short. They checked the time codes, they checked the real time numbers and all that. And So they looked at it and went, what can we do to fix this? What can we do? I know. We worked on the animated series, so let's go ahead and add a Batman the Animated Series episode ahead of this. And we'll center it on Barbara so people can get attached to her a little bit more and it'll be more of a thing when this event happens. So then they made the episode, they put it on there, and it still fell short. So here they are looking at the timeline and they're going, okay, we need more stuff in here. So they decided to pad out the Barbara Gordon story. And they padded it out, they added stuff, and it probably explained how everything went down. Boom, 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 boom. Then they looked at the time code and they went, holy crap, that's way too long. Then one of the Warner Brothers editors came by and was like, hey, don't worry about it. I got it. Then, of course, they double-checked the source material and were like, okay, all we need is this scene, this scene, this scene, this scene, this scene. Alright, now there's other stuff I can just mess around with. And the reason why I bring up the car chase scene, the police chase, was because you could tell that's kind of the feel that they're ending up putting out there. They're not intending for it, but that's the feel that I got from it. You had two cars chasing the truck. The truck turns left to avoid two cars that are in front of them. So those two cars that were in front of them swerved around to pursue said truck. And now there's only two cars behind them. Mathematically speaking, there should be four. The two that were initially chasing to say, screw this, I'm out. I mean, that's how the editing feels. But let's not focus on that. That's just the feel of what I got from the movie, from that scene. Now, let's go to the next spot that I wanted to discuss. Yeah, no. Nice segue, huh? The camera and Barbara Gordon. Some of y'all may know where I'm going with this.
Look at my jiggly butt. Jiggle, jiggle, jiggle. Look at it. Look at my jiggly butt. Jiggle, jiggle, jiggle. It's beautiful. It's like gelatin. Oh, it's jiggly. I like the jiggly. Jiggly, jiggly, jiggly.
You know how Anita Sarkeesian throws a fit about the male gaze and yada yada and blah blah blah. In a lot of cases, it's like, no, it's the camera for the game. Relax. Chill. I can't exactly defend this one. I'm sorry. If Anita went after this and used this as her flagship attack, I got nothing. I'm sorry. I mean, you saw the intro. I made it a joke in this. In fact, by the end of this video, it's going to be a joke at the end of it too. Because they want, how can I say this? It's like, for those of you who know what foreshadowing is and know like how to catch hints and things, sometimes you catch so many hints it starts slapping you in the face. It gets annoying. It's like
Mom! 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 Mommy! Mommy! Mama! Mama! Mama!
What?
Hi.
yeah, that's about how it comes out to me. The whole mommy, mommy, mommy bullshit. That's how all the foreshadowing feels. It's like it's constantly sitting there slapping you in the back of the head. Hey, 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 and you're like, I get it. And in the case of how the camera always angles itself on Barbara Gordon, I get it. She's hot. She's hot. I got that. I got it. Stop throwing it in my face. I got it. I understand that's what you're trying to say. We get it. We all get it. You can stop now. That's how it feels anyway. But that's not the whole problem with this movie. Oh no. You pick up The Killing Joke, you're expecting The Killing Joke, and you're going to see Joker about the last maybe quarter of the movie. No, seriously, he's not in the first part at all. Not even a mention, not even a whisper. And in fact, Batman himself doesn't seem to be in this part of the movie that much either, because it's centered on Barbara Gordon. It's trying to get you attached to her. So why you want to keep lingering the camera near her ass? I don't get this. We get it. She's supposed to be hot. Got it. They even have her main criminal of this episode, I'm going to call it this episode, even mention it. He even brings it up.
What can I tell you? Batgirl's hot.
We get your implications. We get the hint. Cut it the fuck out. We got it. Press on. But this leads to the next part of the problem that I found with this whole thing. And it's the bat sex. Hold on, hold on. I know what you guys are thinking. The bat sex? Yes. The story for this is pretty much Barbara Gordon takes on Paris Franz. Paris Franz wants to become the new crime lord of his family. He succeeds, and Barbara Gordon ends up having to put him down. Now, there's a lot of stuff that makes that complicated for her. And we'll go over that in a moment because we're going to talk about this bat sex thing that is so controversial because no one saw it coming. Except for me. And except for anyone who can catch all the foreshadowing that was out ahead of time. Let me explain what I mean by this. A lot of people will watch the movie and they'll go, oh, it's the talking part. You know, Barbara Gordon's in the library and she does something that she gets just a little bit of a hint here and she goes and deals with it. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. That's the talking part. Blah, 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 blah. A lot of people will miss a lot of the foreshadowing there because it's just a talking part. They're waiting for it to speed back up. That's your first problem. If you listen to what her gay friend, because of course he's the gay guy, they had to make sure that they wrote in the gay guy because, you know, the Bechdel test, they didn't want to run into that problem. So it's a gay guy that she's talking to, so they can circumvent that. I don't even know why you model with that. But they make sure that her best friend in the library is a gay guy. And I'm stressing this because you can tell. Now, later on, he comes out and goes, and they say the gay scenes. You don't have to put that out. Everyone knows.
And they say the gay scene is complicated. What?
So, they're stereotypes for a reason, people. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but stereotypes exist for a reason. Anyway, when you listen to what is being said in the scene, and you watch Barbara Gordon's reactions to certain things brought up, it's foreshadowing. You got the hint there. It's like, hey, heads up, woohoo, and you're going, oh.
But there's no sex.
God, no.
And you're into him because...
Because of the yoga.
Now, about the bat sex thing, I do agree that it did come a little bit out of left field because of the editing. Let me explain what I mean by this. With all the foreshadowing in this movie by itself, right, with all the foreshadowing in this movie by itself, from one of the earliest lines from Barbara Gordon,
I'd been with Batman for almost 3 years.
yeah, who says that? Now I know a lot of you are thinking, oh, that's nothing. Yeah, okay. Let's go ahead and change the names real quick, and you'll see why it's easy to catch. Let's say it was Selena Kyle saying that about Bruce Wayne. I've been with Bruce Wayne for 3 years. Catch it now? Catch the hint? But a lot of people let it slide because it was Barbara Gordon talking about Batman, and there's like, oh, I'm going to presume, because of my character translation, that she's talking about only detective work. No, she's hinting at things. She's subconsciously hinting, or consciously hinting, whatever. It's on a script, so I guess it's consciously hinting. The fact is, there's hints right there, okay? There's hints.
What do these guys have to do to get your attention? Steal a book?
It just so happens I'm involved with someone. Sort of. Kind of.
That's serious, huh?
There's that hint. But the editing part that got me, and this is a big one, excuse me, but you'll tell later in the movie, Paris Franz hires hookers for his crew.
Here's the mask your buddy wanted me to wear. Sorry, we had to cut up the pillowcase.
Got it. Thank you.
You know, I got real masks back at the house. Just saying.
That tells you that Paris Franz is also getting a little pent up while dealing with Batgirl, and, well, he's taking care of his stress so he can stay focused. Good on him. However, if this is affecting him in such a way, could it be, in some way, shape, or form, it's affecting her on the same level? And I felt if that was explored a little bit more, the whole bat sex thing wouldn't have seemed so controversial. It would have been more of a, natural progression, makes sense. But instead, they kind of skirted around it. You know what I mean? And that's where a lot of people get upset about. It's not the fact that it happened. It's, well, Batman would know better because Jim Gordon is his friend, yada yada, blah blah blah. Okay, here's the problem with that. In the Batman animated series, Batman Beyond, the animated movies, etc., whenever Batgirl or Barbara Gordon is brought up, there's always a little bit of a ting in there. There's a little bit of foreshadowing on its own causes. I'll put a link down to the video down below in the description that pointed out there's a lot within the thing itself. In the series itself, there's a lot of hints. In fact, one of the hints is pretty much Batman's going over his list of women that he's explored their Batcaves with. And there's Talia al Ghul, there's Catwoman, and there's a few people that pop up. And then at the very end of the list, it's Barbara Gordon. Foreshadowing, it's a thing. Hints are things. Catch the hint. Subtlety, a thing. But that's the whole problem I had with this. Was in the movie itself, because of how the editing went and kind of how it would not stress on Batgirl as much. Like the events of the case didn't seem to be hitting her as hard. So for her to lose her shit and literally jump bats made no sense. But if they had scenes in there where she was like having problems or showing some version of her damn being like stressed, then yeah, understandable. If they showed something of her being actually pent up, okay, it would make sense. They don't do that. They don't. In fact, the scene from her gay best friend or whatever, when he's talking to her, he ends up dropping it about sex, and you can see the expression on her face. The first time he brings it up, she's like, "Oh no, 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 God no, no, what the hell's wrong with you?" But then he brings it up later in that same conversation, and you can see it hit her. It's like, "Oh fuck!" You can see the expression on her face change. That's like the closest thing that they did with the editing to hint that there's something on her mind about the situation. That would have been great if they would have explored it a little bit more. Or if they were saying that, let's say when she got roofied and took off. Yes, that happens. But it could have been a little bit of an extended part of the scene where she felt that she might have actually fallen into that. And then that kind of made her angry and pent up at the same time, then double whammy and all that happy stuff. But again, the writers were probably trying to be a little careful with that because that scene did seem a little rapey. And with that said, we're going to move on to the last part of this. My beef with Barbara Gordon herself. Now, I know, I've already covered the whole male gaze bullshit and the camera wanting to point out, Barbara's hot. Short of a goddamn shower scene. You know? I mean, I feel that they were going to right in a shower scene and they're like, no, that's too cliche. Take that out. I feel that's what they were doing. And I know what some of you are thinking right now.
What are you, gay?
No, I'm not. I'm just saying it's obvious to me. To me, I catch the editing adjustments. I catch the foreshadowing. I'm one of those motherfuckers that watch Seven and Brad Pitt's character's wife always having the camera up from here higher. That kind of hinted to me that something's up. So what's in the fucking box? I know. It's her head. But, I mean, it's one of those things. It's one of those things where you gotta sit there and catch the camera angles, catch the foreshadowing, and if you can catch all this, everything makes sense. Now, like I said, the whole back sex thing, when it popped up, it did kind of come out of left field because there was no heavy development on the Barbara Gordon side of her being pent up or where this would trigger. Now, like I said, the show for Paris France and whatnot, that's fine. But the reason why I want to bring up the Barbara Gordon thing is because she is Commissioner Gordon's daughter. I know what you're thinking. Double R, you've been watching too much anime, or Animu again, or whatever you want to call it. You've been watching too much of that Animu stuff. You're using those weird phrases. You know, like people die when they are killed. I am my father's son, yada yada, blah blah blah. You're using those phrases. No. Well, yes, but no. No. What I mean by this is, Barbara Gordon is the police commissioner's daughter. Don't you think at some point in time, Commissioner Gordon would take Barbara off to the side and be like, look, I'm going to go over some basics with you? Or do you think he would actually talk about his cases? Hell, in the second half, when they get ready to start the killing joke, Gordon is here with a scrapbook talking about Jokers, talking about when they first met the Joker. So you know he talks about the cases. So at some point, he does go over some basic stuff with Barbara.
I think so, Bane, but the Rockettes? I mean, it's mostly girls, isn't it?
So, with Police Commissioner Gordon probably giving his daughter some basic, rudimentary training, you could tell by how she acts there's a difference in her reactions to criminals and whatnot. And this is to be expected.
You really want to turn a robbery into a murder?
You see another way out of this?
I know you're in a bad spot. But there's bad, and then there's worse.
Again, she acts more like a cop versus, say, Batman who hits people with the side of a car.
Like that.
Negotiating.
He wasn't gonna hurt me.
So that said, you would think she'd be more prepared for certain events. Now, of course, probably not, but you would think she'd be more prepared. And I'm only stressing this part because she does a lot of rookie mistakes. To be with Batman for 3 years, she does do a lot of these weird mistakes that when you see them, you're like, what? I mean, she does shit like this.
Wow, you're ridiculously good looking.
Then she does shit like this.
Too bad we can't sit this one out.
I don't waste my time with punk amateurs.
Oh, baby, I think you've misjudged me.
And then she does shit like this.
Cute.
It's not cute. It's a trick. And that's how I'm going to get you.
Boss, you okay in there?
You might have to get in line.
Break it down.
Oh my God.
Tell me those are not rookie mistakes. Now, I know what you're saying. Well, the second one, she kind of got herself the mist in the face and all that. Batman still gets gassed. Yeah, he does. So I can let that slide. But I cannot let slide the fact that she underestimated her opponent in a fist fight. I can't accept that. Now, some of y'all will be like, well, she's really good at fighting, yada yada. Well, clearly she's not. And if she didn't underestimate him and just got caught, that's also on her. She should know better. She should be ready to get out of that in a moment's notice. And by the way she acted, after she got roofied, she knew how to get out of it. But again, being the commissioner's, wow, there's a word. The police commissioner's daughter, she tried to talk him down. Even in the state that she was in, she was trying to talk him down. Which is a rookie mistake. You're in the middle of a fist fight. You neutralize them, not have them neutralize you. You neutralize them so you have the advantage. And then try to talk them down. But whatever. Now, all that said and done for this review, and yes, I did cover the bat sex thing, knocked it out of there. And like I said, check the video in the description below. It's going to cover a lot of the foreshadowing within the series itself. And like I said, in this movie itself, this first half, just this first half, I know where the major hints are at. Like I said, if you listen to it and just omit the fact that it's Barbara Gordon saying certain things, if you omit that for the first one, and just picture someone else saying that to somebody else in general, it makes more sense. But a lot of people will let their character translation, I got a video about that rant in there at the bottom too, but they let that control what they hear, per se. Let me explain this a little bit clearer. If it was, like I said, Selena Kyle talking about Bruce Wayne, or Catwoman talking about Batman, everyone would be like, ooh, they've been going at it for about 3 years? They've been dating for 3 years? Good on you. But you hear Barbara Gordon say that about Batman, and the brain just goes, nope. Must be in cases and things like this, and yada yada, blah, blah, blah. But if any other woman said about any other guy, you catch the hint. You know what I'm saying? And that's pretty much what the writers are banking on, was people hearing the obvious foreshadowing, but will let their mind circumvent it because character translation. So, I hope I explained that pretty well. I hope, anyway. And I know I said it's supposed to be a review of it, but like I said, it's a basic story. Guy is trying to take over his family's crime syndicate, gets beaten down by the bats. Basic story 101. It's a very basic story, but the events in the story is what you have to worry about. And like I said, because the editing, it feels like things that should be there aren't there. But then again, this is Warner Brothers, so their track record is... So anyway, we will go to the second part at a later time. Later time. I was going to try to say date, but my brain said, say date, time, go at the same time. But we'll go over that at a later time, if so necessary. But this is the part of the movie that everyone's freaking out about. Oh, there's the bad sex. Oh, there's this. Oh, there's that. So I decided to make it its own little half out of the way. So we're good. We're covered. And hopefully Warner Bros. Won't strike this down. And I'm going to leave y'all with a little bit of a gag, and then we're going to close out. And y'all have yourselves a good night. We're done with the review. So let's go ahead and some sort of magical edit. Go.
Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you! Hey, I wrote you a song!
little something like this. Fuck you!